Okay, welcome back. We left off last time. We ended page 2. We're going to pick up here on page 3 of our midterm review packet. Take a look at this and go a little further with it and see how we're doing with it. Okay, number 12. In the figure shown, measure of angle AED equals 100 degrees. Which of the following statements is false? Now, this is a good test-taking strategy. Make sure you are reading the question completely. It's very easy to be fooled by thinking it's got to be true all the time. Okay, they're telling you AED is 100 degrees. So let's note that down. All right, draw the picture out, visually see it. Vertical angles, if that's 100, then measure angle BEC must also be 100. Don't forget about linear pairs, side by side up to 180. So 180 minus 100 is 80 degrees. Therefore, over here as well, we've got our complete and total diagram. Now that I have my diagram, let's start looking at the answers. The measure of angle BEC equals 100 degrees. Looks good to me. So I'm going to cross this off. Okay, because it's true, we want false. AEB and DEC are congruent. So here's AEB, DEC, they're both 80 degrees, which again is our definition of congruent. So true, not cross it off. Got to jump around here just to show you the other false one, but AEB is 80 degrees. Okay, so that's true as well. Now let's take a look at this last one. BEC and CED. BEC, CED are vertical. Vertical angles are across from each other. Okay, this is not the case. This is false. Got it. Okay. Very good. Number 13, solve for x. We just talked about this, and we're bringing it back up again. These are linear pairs, which means they have to add to 180. So linear pair, add them together, 5x plus 135 plus 4x plus 27 equals 180. Okay. We've been working on this all year long. Combine like terms. I like to underline them. So we got 9x plus 162 equals 180. All right, we're going to subtract 162 from both sides. 9x equals 18. Divide by 9, x equals 2. Okay, and if you have time, which you will have plenty of time for this midterm, take that value, plug it back in, and make sure we're okay. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 135 is 145. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 37 is 35 degrees. Add them together, 180 degrees, all as well. Okay. All right. Let's see here. For some reason, this number 14 is a little tough. It's more of a visual problem to see, and again, it's a little bit of definition. But name an angle supplementary to angle DOE. Supplementary is when we have two angles that add up to 180 degrees. Okay. So here's DOE. We're going to first isolate our first angle. Just kind of highlighting with the pen right here. So you're looking for a second angle that if I add with this, it'll be a straight line, 180 degrees. We can clearly see it's obtuse. So if I'm looking for a second angle, it's got to be acute. Well, again, don't look too far. COD is right beside, it's adjacent to it. But if I go ahead and add them together, I'll form that straight line. So angle COD can be one of my answers. However, it could also be one other, and that is this one over here, straight across, angle AOE. All right, you're just looking for that combination of putting them together to form that straight line, hence supplementary. Okay. 15 kind of helps go right with that when it's saying complementary. So if supplementary is 180, complementary is going to be 90. Okay, two angles that add up to 90 degrees. Okay, so COD is right here. So I'm looking for an angle that will go with it to add to 90. Well, if you're looking around here, here's DOE. That'll be supplementary to it, right? That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for complementary. AOB is a good choice. However, that's just a 90-degree angle by itself. So 90 plus anything else will be clearly bigger than 90. AOE is the same exact thing. We're not entirely sure it's 45 degrees, so we can't say that. We're left with our last option of angle BOC. Okay. And then we're all good. Two angles that add to 90 degrees. Okay. All right. Taking a look here on our next page. Slide this underneath here real quick. 16, write the statement as an if-then form. Every equilateral triangle has three congruent sides. Okay, if-then form. If I have an equilateral triangle, then it has 3 congruent sides. Okay, so here's my if then. I took a little bit of liberty. I made it work just by saying if every equilateral triangle then has 3 congruent. It's kind of weird to hear that out loud, so took a little bit of liberty there. Just a little reminder, the if part's always your hypothesis. Okay, the then part is your conclusion. So if this happens, we can then conclude that this will happen. Okay, so keep that in mind because that'll definitely pop up again. Hence the next problem. If I get a chance, I will succeed in this conditional statement. The underlined portion is, again, that's your if part. That's going to be your hypothesis. Okay. If it was underlined at the end, that would be your conclusion. All right. 18. Decide which one of the following statements is false. Again, make sure you're reading directions, but false. We're just going to look through all of these, okay? 3 non-collinear points determine a plane. This is something we've learned, and it's a concrete, it's definitely one of the foundations of geometry. This is true, okay? Any 3 points determine a plane. So we can say that's true, cross it off. A line contains at least 2 points. Again, multiple times in class talked about that. Any 2 points, you can then draw a line through it. Through any 2 distinct points, there exists exactly 1 line. It's basically the same thing as B. All right, so again, I'm seeing that, crossing that off. Well, I'm up with the last one. Clearly, this is the answer. However, let's look at it. Any 3 points lie in a distinct line. You might be inclined to think maybe that's true, but draw yourself a counterexample. Here's 2 points, right? Well, I'm going to say the third point's right there. I can't draw a line that hits all 3 of those points at once without bending it. So there you go. There's your answer. That is false. Number 19, the figure below represents which of the following statements. All right, well, we have 2 rays, ray AC, ray AB. It's saying this one's verifying true, so AB equals AC. Just by looking at this, you can clearly see these are not the same. That's false. Straight angle, no possible way. Straight angle, again, is just a straight line. 2 rays that are perpendicular. This one's intriguing me. I'm going to let that one go for now. Let's look at D. 2 lines that are perpendicular. Perpendicular is 90-degree angles. This looks pretty good, but again, definition, 2 lines. We need 2 arrows on the end of it. These are rays. They're starting, going forever. Starting, going forever. So by, again, eliminating our wrong answers, we're left with C, 2 rays that are perpendicular. Okay, number 20. Which of the following is an example of the reflexive property? Reflexive property is reflection in the mirror, seeing yourself. So if you're glancing through this, there's only one option where you see exactly the same thing. Answer is C. Okay, we have 3 things we learned here: reflexive, symmetric, transitive. Okay, and these are all right in your notes. Reflexive is x equals x. Okay, you're seeing yourself. Symmetric is x equals a or a equals x. You can flip it around. Okay. Lastly, transitive is a equals b, b equals c, then a equals c. So RST 1, 2, 3. All right. Just keep that in mind because those are 3 very important things we've been discussing multiple times in this class. Our last 2 problems for this video. Angle 1, angle 2 are linear pair. If measure angle 2 equals 67 degrees, find the measure of angle 1. Linear pair, automatically you're thinking line, straight line, 180 degrees. We're just taking 180 minusing 67, all right? 113 degrees, measure angle 1 equals 113, all is well, okay? Careful because they're probably going to try and trick you on the test, and say like they might have an answer there of, say, 23 degrees, which would add up to 90. Okay, so again, you got to keep in mind, linear pair is 180 degrees, key vocab. Number 22, angle 1, angle 2 are supplementary. 1 and 3 are vertical angles. If I'm looking at this, I'm going to draw a little picture to help myself out. Okay, I'm going to draw 2 lines intersecting. So what we got here, 1 and 2 are supplementary. That means they're side by side. 1 and 3 are vertical. That means they're across from each other. Okay, now if I'm just reading this without drawing this picture, it can get a little complex. Now that I have this picture, take a look at this. 2 is 72 degrees. Find 3. Well, they form a straight line. Okay, you draw the picture, it visually helps you see it. If I want to find measure angle 3, we're just doing 180 minus 72. 108 degrees. Okay? This concludes our third and fourth pages for our packet. So stay tuned for another video very soon. Okay? Good luck. Keep studying.